Welcome back, everyone. It is Einar the 7th. And in the few days that you've had since you've returned, mercifully, the snows have stopped. But it is ice freezing cold. It is 0 degrees Celsius outside, which is quite nice, actually. 0 degrees Celsius is
positively balmy.
Yes. And tonight, Oron is the group caller, and we start as always at the Bristleback Inn. I'll describe kind of what's going on here. The Bristleback Inn, speaking of which, is balmy. It always seems to be an eternal, kind of constant, humid heat as they just keep the fire roaring to try to hold back the icy frost of Darkentide. And they've got the big pot to stew just continually going, and you can get crappy ale and stew, and that's what's on offer here. If you don't own a house or property, you should subtract, I think off the top of my head, 3 gold pieces. You should subtract 7 gold pieces if you needed to keep any property here during your last adventure. There are a few people here leaning over their brews and their steaming hot rugged wooden bowls of stew, discussing things. These are the few people that get out and about. Some of them are the local guards, which the sort of the chancellor who has been put in charge of the city on behalf of the Council of Caden's Rest. They circulate, cold though it is, and a few other people that travel and trade from the outside of the palisade to what's called the peninsula, which is kind of like this rocky thing that looks out over the shore, which is where you all live. So the people that get out and move about in the cold are here now, trading tales and talking among one another. There's probably a half a dozen or so, and then there's you at your table. None of them look like adventurers, to be clear. And then there is the daughter of Odo Bristleback out and about serving the patrons. Oren, any plans? Anything that you want to do before you set out the next day?
Well, adventurers, does anyone have any questions or anything that they would like to see before we head back out? Want to talk to these gentlemen at the bar?
I think I'm good.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm
Actually,
good. I'm good.
Is Flanagan going to be able to make the day? Because
Oh.
I just now realized he's not here.
Yeah. No,
Oh,
Richard.
yeah, I just saw.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, that's all right. Okay.
Does anyone know how to read the map to get us back if we need to get, so our recent adventure, the teleporters, we unstoned some people. Does anybody remember what we did with them?
I think we just brought him back with us. They're probably in town somewhere and trying to grapple with the insane new life they've been granted from nothing that they remember. I don't think they ever got there. I mean, you have a memory though. Like, you know who you are. You have a name.
Yeah, they don't.
Like, you're dislocated. They're restarted.
I assume that you keep Gilioza the Grand in your the workings of your tower, in your shelter that will someday be a wizard's tower.
He is staying with me.
Bara, Ronan, Cosgrak, and Athol. Actually, I'm sorry, you don't know their names, and they don't know their names. I shouldn't have given you their names. But you do know Gilioza the Grand, but the other 4 nameless ones, I should note, would probably be willing to be hired, actually, because they have no name and don't know who they are, and they need to figure it out. So the answer lay deep within the earth. So there is that.
And take them with us?
If they're, we could certainly use someone to carry a torch, if nothing else.
Right.
And they're probably more competent to do it than anyone else.
I agree. Oh, well, so then I guess we find them and offer them jobs. They got to eat.
Which ones do you offer work to? The ones with the chainmail and swords and such, or yeah. I can describe them briefly. There were 2 peasants. I'm sorry, 4 peasants. And they are just that. They are more reticent to return with you. They don't like the idea. And then there were 3 people wearing chainmail and brigandine, and they have swords at their side. And then 1 person that has 2 small blades.
The peasantry I'll take under my wing as help staff at the Lodge of the Pine, since they're probably going to hate it because Algar's conception of a good day's work is unreasonable, but he does pay well, so there's that.
Okay.
But I mean, they would hate it anyway, because look at the weather out here. Nightmare.
The work will help them take their mind off the weather, unless they're
Yes.
working outside, in which case they'll have the opposite effect. But the ones with the swords, I think, should come with us.
Now, just so you know, Warren, for each person that you take with you who's not a player, that person will receive half of your XP. And for these types, it is presumed that they will get half of a share of treasure. So if you get, 100 XP, they're going to get, 10.
Yeah. I'm, Go ahead. I'm always
honestly, I don't mind
jealous
sharing
of my
the gold.
XP.
The XP gives me pause.
Well, the gold is the XP.
That's true.
Yeah, I mean,
That's right. Yeah, this is old school, isn't it? Yeah.
Unless there's a second Hydra, we're probably good to go with less people.
Yeah, especially since if there's any kind of a horde associated with the Hydra, we're gonna hopefully find it this session. We don't want to, not to think too meta about it, but I think also it wouldn't be that meta, really.
Yeah.
How many Hydras could there be?
How many what?
How many Hydras could there be? We just killed the one. What are the odds there'll be 2?
That's an excellent question. I have no idea what that thing was eating. And I never will.
Well, we can always go back.
That's the
Might
idea.
as well.
Look around. Okay. Well, so we just want to just leave them? Maybe they can get hired out as in a caravan or security or something.
We can give them work later. I just don't feel like we need to, give them work right now.
I'm fine with that.
So you're gonna
Okay.
leave all of them, is that right?
Yeah, I'll give them 5 silver piece or 5 gold each to guard the church while I'm gone.
Oh, nice.
That'll give them something to do and give them some money.
I am
There's
gonna
4 of them?
bring.
Yeah, so that'd be 20 gold, yeah. To guard church. Okay.
I am gonna bring Locken with me, though.
Okay.
Good old Lucky.
All right.
All right.
You go to your respective beds to rest for the evening.
That's enough. Back to work.
You awaken the next day to Algar kicking in your door.
Wake up!
In the freezing cold. Freezing, though, which is actually an improvement. And it's just merely freezing and nothing else, and the skies are clear. The ice and snow have not melted, though, and so you see a snowy, icy, white landscape all about you, and a frozen riverfront. Oren, where do you go? I should have asked. I was going to ask this. Are we going to do the SOP, the same thing that you guys usually do? You don't have to describe it if it's going to be the same thing.
That's what I was thinking. Does anybody object?
No.
Okay.
Then that's
I
what
trust
we'll
your
do.
judgment in this.
Mhm.
The first day passes without incident, and you actually find that compared to what you usually deal with, it's a lovely day outside. Sunny, clear skies, no winds, or only light winds when they kick up. And,
Nice.
yeah, and you travel quickly. You find that you arrived at the first watchtower with the first change of guard early. The rotation of guard that you guys usually do. And so you find that you have plenty of time to enjoy the supper of foods and salted pork and meats that are brought out for you by the logging camp, who see you as heroes. And then you make for the tower for the night to sleep, and you continue on.
Very nice.
And I believe you cut across, take the road, and then make it to the second tower in a kind of sprint. Try as you might, you find that you end up traveling under lantern light by the end. But it is a beautiful day, and when the sun sets, the stars come out, and the sky above you is almost as bright. It feels as the day with how full of stars it is and how bright the sky is. And the guards at the second tower provide, in this case, I suppose Algar is maybe the ranking hound, I don't know, as far as a mercenary type person. I don't know.
I seem to be.
Yeah. The captain of this watch provides you a report stating that nothing has been found moving out and about in the darkness, much to their relief for the past week and a half.
You cannot imagine how thrilled I am to hear that we are not going to run into another Yeti. All of the patrols have come back in one piece. Actually, no. What am I talking about? No one's patrolling in this weather.
Yeah, you guys essentially, this is an interesting procedure you've developed where you essentially lead the patrols, which also represents the change of the watch, where they're able to rotate out. You know, because they'll go with you and then stop at the tower, and then another group will go to the next tower, and that group will travel out and end their watch. You know. So, anyways, and you're able to travel the third day. Trouble with this snow is it takes so long, and you can expect that on the way back, so you only get 24 to 48 hours between adventures right now. But the next day you take the icy switchbacks back and forth up the I should have noted you probably could have even brought horses and they would have survived this time, but unless it gets colder, you know.
I wouldn't trust it.
Yeah, it knows what going back is like.
Yep. So you take the switchbacks up the mountainside again to the icy, black, demonic mouth of doom. It is an uneventful trip to back to Rappan Athuk.
Lovely. I love uneventful. On the terrible adventure. Okay.
Nap time.
All right. Can someone please tell me how to get to the teleportal maze?
All right, I can do that real fast. One sec. Okay, from the entrance, south 40, then east 40, then east 20. There should be a chalk outlined pit. We're going to go from there. We're going to go south 60 to a intersection northwest. We're going to go west for about 80, then north 20, then west 40, then south 50, then east 40, then south 50, then east. At this point, we're in the room of the green flame. We're moving east to the secret door. Pop that open. That reveals a crawl space. Wiggle on through into the room full of leeches. Scamper on through real quick before the leeches get a sip. The stairwell should hug the south
Some of
and
the
east
leeches
walls.
flop from the ceiling behind you, but you use all speed to make it to the staircase. Otherwise, continue.
Salt! Then we scamper down the staircase. The staircase will take us down a winding passage into an oval chamber about 40 north-south and 30 east-west. We're going to go south from there. That'll take us to a T intersection. That'll go northwest-east. We go west from there. That takes us to an intersection northeast. We go north. It takes us to another L bend that takes us south and west. We go west. Then north, past one T intersection to the second T intersection. From there, we go west. That takes us into the room that used to be some kind of eatery or cafeteria. We had a big fight with a lot of rats there, and there was also the bas relief teleporter, and hopefully still the rope and python arrangement we set up to physically haul ourselves towards the target. And then I guess we pair up and we touch the teleporter the face of the demon, so that we are all teleported simultaneously, because no one wants to see what it looks like when you're teleported. That's unsettling, because you explode into ash.
You make it through the mouth of the thing and appear on the other side in a black, dark room. It's painted. Floors, walls, and ceilings black. At this point, the rancid, rotten meat smell has begun to turn into a kind of moldy fragrance. You can almost see the bodies. I'm actually going to remove them as they've been eaten away, and motes of spores of mold and dust instead sometimes float the disturbance from the appearance on the teleport pad.
Ugh.
And so, where do you go from here, Oren?
All right. So we have you have all charted these pretty well, the ins and outs. And I remember our last way through, looking at the map. We're going to go back through the same way. We got to, I don't remember if it was room 10.
Let me review. JN comes from teleport room 5. We got to room 5 from room 3. We got to room 3 from room 2. We got to room 2 from room 1. So we want to go south. Then we want to go to the southern. We're going to be in a room with 2 teleport chambers. We're going to take the southern one. That'll blip us into a room with 3 teleport chambers. We're going to want to take the north. So wait, now hang on a second. Which one of these is E? Okay, so we want to get to 4, which means we want to get to... Okay, no. So we want to leave room 1 by the south teleporter. That'll take us to teleport room 2 on the north teleporter. We want to re-enter teleport room 2. Sorry, we want to re-enter the north teleporter. That'll take us to teleport room 4. I want to re-enter that again. That'll take us to room 5. Hang on a second. I'm just going to draw this out.
And that's 20 minutes in between each room. Is that so? It's been about an hour. Okay.
Yes. 1 sec. Paint.
I don't know that it's 20 minutes per room. We have to definitely wait 20 minutes before trying to use the same platform again. Is it 20
Okay,
minutes?
so it's not just platforms in general. Like you could go from one, immediately go to the other.
Ross will correct me, I'm sure, if I'm wrong, but I think...
Oh,
I believe we're not certain. How it works exactly.
No. Well, we would know. I mean, from what I remember, we would know if we tried. In other words, you know, isn't this in the category of things we would just know? Because if we know it, we would be doing it that way every time.
That's true. But do we know it? I don't remember last time. I thought we did 20 minutes in between,
In
but
between
you all have
every
gone through
drive?
these more than me.
Richard, do you remember?
I remember every time before we've had a 20-minute break between jumps.
Okay.
I don't know if that's necessary. We could try without it.
Let's not, because
Okay.
But we had a couple peasants with us.
well,
Yeah, we only we summoned a ghoul, I think, when we screwed it up last time.
yeah, exactly. So we'll just.
Okay. I have posted what I believe is our route.
You did.
I will also
Yeah.
make you a deal. If you can tell me the route, this is a very long distance and a lot of time, so if you can describe the route, I will just do the math that I need to do. And I won't describe every one you go to, because you've been to most of these like 3 times now, so, or at least Heretic and Richard and Father Chris have, so, you know, if you describe the route, we'll just do that.
Okay. May I?
But don't
Please.
don't say like room 4, right? Because I'm not looking at your map. Just tell me where you go and what you do.
Okay, so right now we are at a room shaped like the top half of a stop sign, and the bottom, there are 2 teleporters in it. One on the north, one on the south. On the south end, there are 4 possible directions that can be pointed, ranging from straight east to southwest. We want to point it straight south and get on the machine, activate it in the usual fashion where we hold hands and we get on it simultaneously. Then that will take us to a room which is mostly vertical, but with rounded off edges at the northern corners, which will have 2 teleporters in it. One to the north, one to the south. The northern teleporter should have one setting, like one possible setting. We get off it, wait 20 minutes, get back on. That should teleport us to a room shaped roughly like a cross, with the short edge, with the short arms pointing up and down, the head to the west and the legs to the east. We will come in to a teleporter which has 2 possible settings, either straight south or southeast. We want to keep it pointing straight south, get back on it again. That will take us into an extremely large chamber where we found these statues in the past, which has 1 teleporter on the north end and another teleporter for the south. When we go to the south, that teleporter has 2 settings, straight south and southeast. We want to point it straight south, and when we get on it, that will take us to the Hydra chamber, or the chamber where we killed the Hydra. Or rather, where Magnus killed the Hydra.
Hail Hydra. Hail Hydra.
Well, huzzah, Ranger. Well done.
If
Yes,
I have
indeed.
seen far, it is because I have stood on, because I have seen from the eyes of a giant.
Not only do
Really-
you deftly navigate using your various mechanisms of candles and holding hands and moving the plates and all these strange customs that you've just sort of developed and learned about this underworld place, but your journey occurs in silence, with nothing. You hear and see nothing as you travel from dark room to dark room. For you, and wait, did you wait 20 minutes?
Yes.
You waited 20 minutes each time?
Yeah. And I also want to
We're
say,
dead.
I think Magnus can be assumed to have been taking some time to at least converse with Oren about the edges of whatever mysteries we may find interesting to discuss.
We
And I would
talk on.
Yeah, and I would want to learn more about this master. This
Don't
master.
bother. I forgot his name. Maybe my memory's not so great either from being stoned for 200 years.
Okay. When you arrive at the last pad and step
Kill it.
off of it, you can hear water, a large cavernous space, the drippings of water into vast echoing pools, and You can hear it echo even more so along these cavern walls, covered with only strange fungi and old spider webs. Let's see. Oron, what do you do? What do you all do, I should say?
The ones with pointy swords in the front, and we cautiously go around the bend. Does that sound fine to everyone?
Perfect to me.
As ever, I am your shield.
Wonderful. That is what we do.
As you exit this cavernous space, and you can see, lit by your by the light of Father Bloombad's holy symbol, glimmering, perfectly clear cerulean water. It looks absolutely pure and perfect, and you can hear water, still echoing off the cavern walls. The ceiling of this cavern is goes off into the darkness, but you can see massive stalactites descending hundreds of feet above, down, and below. And as you leave the cavern, you can see this massive 40-foot tall statue that's listed over onto its side, some of its heads broken off into the water, and it simply lays on its side, 3 or 4 angry heads still looking up out of the water, one of them sort of looking at you as you exit the cave.
Well, that's a sight. Is there anything anyone wants to do with our deceased friend here?
I'm happy to leave him to cease.
Same.
What were you saying, Chris? You were muted.
Touch.
I'm sorry, I'll use character names. My bad. You do what? Wait, what did you say? Cameron? Said you poke it?
Yeah. Touchy.
You poke it.
Or to have fun.
And Cameron, you feel like this reptilian head, its stony eyes are kind of cast towards you. It's toward the entrance or exit, whichever way of that cave. And you get the sense that it is looking at you, sort of like a picture, would. And with malice and anger and hatred. But otherwise, you only feel stone when you poke it.
That's good. Well, we have water. We have rocky walls. I don't know if we have a shore to go along.
How does the opposite shore look like? Is the Hydra's carcass straddling the gap between us and the opposite wall?
It does, in fact, form a stony bridge as well to a very narrow shoreline. When I say narrow on the other side from where this is, I mean very narrow. However, you can see in your light from Father Bloombad's holy symbol that there is a beach further ahead that's much, much wider.
My good Moss? Sorry,
Do you want to cross the Hydra?
It's not just that. I've got a climbing kit with rope and pythons. That should simplify things for those who follow behind them.
Wonderful.
And good luck, and as well can climb in places that most people can't. So he might be able to get over there and shimmy around and see what's up without having to set up a bunch of stuff for us. Or at least he can go ahead maybe and attach pythons ahead of time and that kind of thing, find the best way.
Is that something you want to do, Cameron?
Oh, Cameron can do it too.
I don't see why not.
Sure. All right. Cameron, this will take you about 15 minutes to do. On the opposite end, you see a narrow cavern alcove and then a wide beach continuing on to the north for some ways. The pythons and rope are set.
So I suppose the rest of us can follow along, grab the rope.
With caution, here we go.
Right.
Okay.
We are crossing over. How cold is that water? If I dip my fingers down into that water.
It is cool. Slightly less than room temperature.
I'm going to observe his hand and see if anything weird starts to happen.
I come back with my fingers.
Like made of gold or something.
Yeah. Nothing
Nope.
happens to your hand. You can see, because it's perfectly clear, that cast and tossed among the depths, which go down probably dozens of feet, the bones of some antediluvian beast that once inhabited this place, and many other bones besides that have once fed this creature as they've made their way in here in its nest.
Anything glinting at us from the depths?
Let's see. No.
Right.
We're too
Is there
deep.
anything-
Oh, go ahead.
Sorry. Is there anything burnable in here? Because like there's fungus on the map, but I don't know if that's like diegetic.
Yeah, that's a great question. Yeah, not everything on the map is diegetic. In this case, though, I think you can, in fact, find some flammable fungus if that's your goal.
It might make sense. We could probably use a drink. We've been running around for a while, but I probably boil this before we drink it.
It's a good idea. There's a lot of fungus in this dungeon.
You take precautions. You all would not know this, but Algar knows many things. And Algar, you look at the water. It's very clear to you that this water is perfectly pure and clean, unless it has some unholy glamour upon it, you know. And so, using the means you have, you try to cleanse it of things unseen, and you're confident that you have water if you need it.
Fit for all.
Right.
I find it curious that there should be so clean a source of water.
I make tea.
I wonder where we are in relation to the world.
That's a
anyone-
good. I have no way of knowing, unfortunately. My navigation is by the stars. There are arts I've heard of that can divine the North Star by mystic means, but I don't have the right tools.
I'm not thinking of anything so mystical as that. I'm just merely wondering, if the water is so pure, can we be that far underground? I suppose there's okay, so the mushrooms and stuff, like I guess I'll ask Algar, if any character knowledge he might have, but what depth, based on the fungus, like, is there any sign? Because clear, pure water
Good
is
question.
pretty rare. I would think, you'd say, unless it's coming from a mountain spring or something.
Might I have lore to share?
Yes, but not a very good one. Looking at a mushroom, I feel like, Algar, it would be obvious to you where you would be, what depth you could be at, what might nourish the soil of this place. Except that there is a variable you cannot account for, but you recognize, and that is the other world. And so there are things about this place that simply don't add up, and you cannot. It is not so much a matter of where you are in the real world, but a question of which you've already asked out loud in character a few sessions ago. To what extent and how far and in what direction are you melding into the other world? And there's no way that you can answer that.
Well, I can give you an answer based on the proviso, on the assumption that we are wholly within the real. We'd be about here. However, and then I just sort of mutely gesture towards the gigantic Hydra statue, which is looming placid and not quite dead in the distance. I do not believe we are wholly within the real, so I cannot give you a good answer.
Well, so be it. But just as there was an explanation for the source of filth that we've cleansed, perhaps there's also an explanation for such a pure source of water. I find it curious.
I confess I'm less curious. Water can go by any means. Water is notorious for infiltrating places it is least expected and least desired. What I'm more curious about is where did the Hydra come from? That thing is huge. That guy is the big boy. There's an exit here somewhere. Did they teleport it in? Did it just happen here?
Yes, well, we clearly need to, once you've finished boiling, perhaps we should proceed northwards.
He cannot be hurried, my friend.
And an unknown amount of time has passed, but of the known time, it's getting really weird to talk about this stuff. Of the known time, 30 minutes of dungeon time has passed. Oren, where do you all? What do you all do next?
Is there anything in this this alcove to be explored? Does Father Bombad's light shine on everything? Is it just an alcove?
It is just an alcove. Yeah.
Okay.
Because of his light, in fact, it's very well lit, and you can see everything. And you see no crevices, no pathways, no, nothing.
Well, I feel secure on our way back. Should we walk the beach northward?
Yes. We need to find where this. We need to find where this creature moves its bowels.
If you say so.
I give Blumbad a look.
Oh, that's where the treasure will be.
I mean, I recognize the logic. I merely find it.
I'm going to zoom out, and then I'm gonna put you somewhere that kind of takes in the scope of what you're gonna be able to see here with Father Bloombad's light, because this doesn't quite do it. So I'm gonna kind of move you to where his light could show this, but that gives you an indication of how far this is. So what you have here is like a stepped or terraced, like it's like looking up at a pyramid, right? Like you have these cavern walls that narrow and go up, and this switchback, incline that waves its way up on narrow cliffs all the way up to a single vertex at the very top where you can see a teleportal pad. And it looks like all the other pads. And then there's... Well, actually, no, I'm not going to do that. The path continues on to the west otherwise.
Okay, so we have another portal over here to the northeast. Our path is now rounding its way west. Does anyone have a preference on which direction to go?
I say west.
As do I. Then we'll go west.
Okay. We need one more vote. Heretic, what do you think?
I'm all for exploration.
Alrighty.
Look around.
Alright, then. Here we go. We'll go to the west. And it takes about 10 minutes to get there, continue on, etc. And you find that it is a dead end.
In the way southward, what do we see? Does it circle around? Can we make out anything south in relation to where we came in?
This right here ends in a cliff over a watery edge. You can see from where you came in what is essentially a cave-like dome that rises about 60 feet up out of the water, like a big beehive.
I think it's time.
But
No,
it's
I'm sorry,
it's the back side of it, but it's just rocky, ledges forming this like beehive shape out of the water.
I'm gonna look to young Cameron again and say, perhaps you could do a little more shimmying.
I could shimmy all day.
All right.
It goes up a bit shimmy.
Where do you want to go?
Not sure.
Well, I see what looks like a culvert, a little narrow waterway that
Mhm.
I assume is where those sheer walls you were talking about just now is. I was thinking she could try to climb around them if it's possible.
Or to scuttle along this line I'm drawing now.
Yeah, there's this like
That's-
outcropping that
I was
you could
thinking more
probably-
about over here.
Uh-huh.
This is what looks to be interesting.
I think that's the back end of the outcrop that we appeared in.
I don't think so, because if so, we would have, because we just came straight west.
Cameron, is that you want to go explore that area? It's up to you, of course. Okay, very well. Let me take your token. And then I'll have some bad news here in a moment. It does circle all the way around. Now, from where you are, you can't see this, but I'll move you here so that you can see it, and then I'll pan everybody so they can see it. This circles all the way around. It's just a dead end.
Dang it.
To have Cameron do this and come back and report this takes about 20 minutes.
Okay.
So, unless we start diving into the water to look for secrets, it's starting to look like there's no treasure hoard to be seen.
There might be secrets yet to be found here, but I don't think they're the sort we can carry away with us and fatten our purses with.
Cameron is heading back to you, and just across this narrow path right here.
Mm-hmm.
And they're Cameron, you're presumably reporting these things. You're about to make it across that rock. Algar, roll a d6.
Bum bum bum. Okay.
I take full responsibility. My apologies.
We all
Ew.
do the.
A
There's
2.
one thing I'm good at, it's sending young people into danger.
83% of the time, it works every time.
Under the holy light of Father Bloombad's symbol, Algar, you can see, Cameron coming back across this narrow part, just about to leap, and then their shadow stops behind them and stops moving. And instead of the shadow mimicking what the character is doing, the shadow instead extends a long shadowy arm out to grab them, about to smash them against the rocks.
Nope. Grab him, pull him away.
You will have to make a dexterity save to pull this off.
Oh, I sure hope I roll high. I don't.
Oh, that's really bad.
Well, it's not that bad.
It's
you
pretty
can see by
bad.
the shadow.
Several things happen.
Uh-oh.
Algar, you see this happen, and Oron and Magnus are in your way. Otherwise, you would have been able to have leapt in time to grab a hold of Cameron. Alas, you do not make it. The shadow of Cameron separates from them and then pushes Cameron off the ledge just as they're leaping across. Cameron, you also can make a dexterity save because you are a thief. Before you plummet 40 feet.
Oh, what's the dice?
It's a D20, and you want to exceed your target save number. Nice.
Wow.
Cameron, you're tossed against the rocks and just narrowly evade tumbling 40 feet to your death as you cling to the rocks. Algar, you face one of these shadows come to life, and Oron, roll a d6 for initiative.
All right.
House wins. You guys go first.
Nice.
All right.
Ooh.
Oron, Father Bloombad. Father Bloombad, you're going to try to turn?
Yeah.
All right. Oron and Magnus, any spells?
Just one shot.
Just one shadow.
I don't think so, because a turn is likely to work, so...
Yeah.
All right. Let's see.
Great.
Okay. Anyone moving their token can move it now. And if you're firing a missile, you can try to do that now.
I'm going to use my turn to extend the butt of my spear to Cameron so that they can use it for stability as they retreat from the shadow.
Okay, that will work if that will help something else that's about to happen.
Oh boy.
Oh man.
All right, no one's firing a missile, right? Okay, and no one's moving, including
I moved.
Lockin. All right.
Well, I mean, yeah, he'll move over here.
Gotcha. All right, and then let's see. It's not going to move, and then if you're doing a melee attack, but Algar, you're going to try to help get Cameron off the ledge, right?
Yes.
Gotcha. All right. Let's see. Fortunately, spells go with melee combat. So, what is your turn result? Does it banish a shadow?
First one's 15.
Alrighty.
That's that does up to hit die 8.
That works. Does it just turn them?
I don't know what their hit die is.
Oh, sorry, 3. It's a hit die 3.
Yes, that's an automatic turn.
Okay, automatically turned. Yeah. So just as you see that this thing is about to, its claws start to, like the hand of the shadows start to lengthen into claws, and it starts to reach down to try to peel Cameron's hand off of the cliff and toss him down into the rocks. And as Algar is trying to fend it off and offer their blade, Father Bloombad, what do you say? What is it's been a while. What is one of your admonitions against chaos sound like?
I hold my holy symbol up and I say, cannot hide from the light even in these depths. Be gone, foul creature.
It's awesome. All right, you do that, and you hear a pop and a squeal, an unearthly type of like squeal, and this thing like shrinks back down, and it's like it's being tossed back against the rocks as a shadow. But then, like if the shadow were fallen, and then it slides back into being Cameron's shadow again. And presumably, Algar, with that, you're able to just help Cameron back off the cliff.
What say we back maybe to the teleporter?
One question: what was that thing?
It was your shadow, of course.
There's a few of those things down here. They take turns arising and falling from the ambient darkness. They're unholy, malicious. Not
If-
particularly strong in the face of multiple
Again.
dimensions.
For doing anything like that again.
Well, it wasn't because of the shimmying that it happened. It could have happened to any of us. To be fair.
Your shadow will grow back.
And it was excellent shimmying as well.
Usually it does.
Kudos.
Anyways, yeah, nothing over here. So we get back. The other decision point here is which pad.
Do we want to try the new one? We're here.
I think we should. Yeah. How many flanges? How many flanges are there on it?
I have to get closer to see that.
All right, let's move up.
At this point, another 10 minutes has passed. It has been, I think, an hour and 10 minutes of dungeon time, as you know of time. You don't know how much time. When you get on the teleports, you don't know what's going on. So it could be 3 minutes or a day, or you don't know what's going on. But
These aren't Hydra eggs or anything over here, are they?
oh yeah, the dungeon's broke. But no, those are the bubbles. I got some bubbles there.
Okay.
Let me move my bubbles out of the way. There we go. That'd be rad. Bunch of Hydra eggs.
They're delicious.
Glenn would be right. Campaign over. Just raise the Hydras, and then you have an army of Hydras, and then that's it. No more Rappan Athuk. There is a single vein that points to the east only.
Well, I haven't worked one of these before. Is it possible you just get on and go? There's no incantations or rite performed?
As best as we can understand it, it's like once you're on it, only one group can tread on the path at once.
Mm-hmm.
If for example, I jumped on it right now, until I arrived at the destination, none of the rest of you would be able to follow me. So it's important that we all step on it simultaneously so that we go as a group, rather than blocking each other.
Well,
Are there tracks around this? Does it look like the Hydra has used this thing?
It's hard to imagine because the Hydra is like 40 feet tall and 20 feet wide, but this thing is probably 10 to 15 feet wide. But there are tracks all over the place, and you can even see the big paw prints, the big, amphibian prints of this thing where it has tromped along everywhere, and bones, places where it's eaten. You mentioned defecation, you find that. Yeah, everything.
Can we search through it?
Yeah. Yeah, hold on.
I think it's fortunate we came out from the other teleporter where it couldn't fit through the cave. If we'd been out here in the open, it might have been a quick meal.
True enough. I look around.
Cameron doesn't seem too eager to go dung diving. Okay. Well, I'll keep you company. I don't want you to feel alone. So I'll stay with you. I just waxed my beard and mustache. I don't want to get it dirty.
There's a lot of poo here. How long do you spend? You find hard objects within the poo. It's going to take some time to search through all this. You'll also get really gross.
I have cure disease. I'm confident that I'll be all right tomorrow.
There's abundant clean water just down there.
Clean for now. If you start shoveling,
there was clean
if you
water.
start shoveling foulness into it, who knows how long that will last.
This will take about 2 hours to sift through all this poo.
It is interesting how the water can stay clean with so many bones and feces
Yeah.
all around. Something to think about.
I assume
somebody's
you
helping you.
Magnus will help. Yeah, Magnus will help and insist that Locke help as well.
All right, 3 hours and 10 minutes of dungeon time pass. You find 1,133 gold pieces.
Wow.
This will take up the full load of treasure, I'll just say, for 2 people. So, and then you find, you find 2,650 silver pennies.
Nice.
Wow.
This would be the full load of treasure of the remainder of the companions if you carried all the silver pennies. And we're not done. And a lot of bones. Let me see here.
Papa needs a magic mace.
You find about the same amount of copper pennies, about 2,600 copper pennies. If you're carrying all the gold and all the silver, you would not be able to carry any copper without doing all the math. We could do all the math, but there's 6 of you, so I mean it's not going to be a lot either way.
Well, forget the copper.
Yeah, we can always come back for it if we need.
Yeah, just pile it up on the side.
Mm-hmm. Algar patiently stacking it up into groups of 10, lining it up in rows.
Algar, the ranger accountant.
Yes.
Plus, if it goes missing, we'll know that someone else is using these teleporters.
Mm-hmm.
There's tables within tables. I'm having fun. I'm sorry. I know it takes a bit, but it'll be worth it. I will tell you that. It will be worth it.
Numbers.
First of all, I just want to, while this is happening, let you all know that I am 33,436 out of 35,000 before level 6.
How much money did we just find? I'm gonna write it down in the other world.
Lot?
It was like 1,100 gold, or almost 1,100 gold pieces, just like 2,200 or so silver, and then something else. I'm assuming some jewelry or something cool.
Among its dung, after hours of searching. Oh, I gotta do one more encounter roll. I only did one. Okay, y'all are so lucky. Okay. You spend hours down here searching through this dung. You find all these people who've been devoured and their belongings. Most of it is ruined and useless, rusted. However, you find piles and piles of the treasures that they have attempted to pull out of Rappan Athuk and failed. So you have thousands of piles of gold, or of various coins, gold, silver, and copper. And then lastly, most other things are also ruined. Bands, circlets, clothing, armor, weapons, anything you could find here is just ruined. But one thing you find still intact is a feces-covered hand mirror.
Another mirror. Those are always worth money.
To be still intact, there must be something to it. I'll have to examine it closer. Unless, Bloombad, you have that capability at the moment?
I can cast Remove Curse whenever you can't look away from it. How about that?
No, I was more thinking of Detect Magic.
Oh, I did not bring that, my friend.
In that case, we'll have to stow that for examination later.
What did you ask, Father Bloombad?
I don't believe I asked.
No. I'm sorry. Magnus, what did you ask Father Bloombad? What was the question?
Oh, I asked him if he had Detect Magic, and he said no. He joked that he could cast Remove Curse if I was looked in it and was unable to look away.
So you asked Father Bloombad, do you have Detect Magic? I just want to make sure.
I did.
Okay. And you said that you looked at the mirror, right?
No.
Oh, I thought you said you looked at the mirror. I'm pretty sure I heard you say that.
No.
No, he did not. I said if he looks at the mirror, I can cast Remove Curse. I said he never said he did.
I thought I heard you say, "I'll take a look at the mirror," but okay, very well then.
Well, I mean, you said it was covered in feces.
Yes.
I said I'm going to have to take a look at the.
Oh, you're going to have to take a look at it. Yes, I see.
Yeah.
Very well.
So,
you have a mirror.
I don't want to look at it.
I kind of do.
Let's just wrap it up.
And I'm sorry, Ross. I promise I was not trying to pull a fast one linguistically there.
We're doing the thing. We're doing the OD&D thing right now. This is good. This is all as intended, I think. You look at.
Oh, yes, Richard, yes.
I'm not playing the smart thief who's very cautious and carefully doesn't look at the explosive runes. I'm playing Algar Dexton, Wisdom 5. Let me see the mirror.
Okay. You look into the mirror with the feces scraped away from the glass surface, and you can see that the mirror is in impeccable, perfect condition. It seems to have a wonderfully wrought silver frame, and the glass seems perfect. You look into it, and you see your reflection.
I don't think I'm cursed. I think this is just a really nice mirror. If it's magicked, I think it's mostly just magicked against decay. I just give it back. I'll let you know if I turn to something horrible.
Well, maybe ask it a question.
That's a good suggestion.
Magic mirror, who's the ugly motherfucker here?
Hey, Alexa.
Magic mirror in my hand. Is it safe to do this?
What are you doing?
I'm asking the mirror, is it safe for me to ask you questions?
Give me a moment.
Sorry. I love you, Richard.
As soon as you ask that, strong winds are now beating against my house.
No!
I don't take that as a good sign. I've got 3 windows right here next to me, and you can hear it pushing against it.
Magnus, I'm just realizing that Magnus is just watching watching Algar do this. One eyebrow raised in deep curiosity.
And it's like, I don't advise it, but it is interesting.
Exactly. Taking out my scratch parchment.
What is the question one more time?
Is it safe for me to be doing this?
You hear a booming voice emit from the mirror, and it says, "There is no safety for you, Ranger." And that's all it says.
I sort of
But it does.
I look up to Father Bloombad. It's a little cursed.
See
any of us-
if you can part company with it.
Did any of the rest of us hear the voice?
Yeah, you all hear the voice, and it's quite loud.
I hand it over to
Causes
Heretic,
noise.
to Father Bloombad, if it's
Yeah,
possible.
he's just...
Yeah, you hand it back to Father Bloombad then, no problem.
Nice.
But it is loud.
From the feces nearby, things start to emerge as the walls shake from the noise. And Algar, you can roll a d6.
Oh boy. That is the wrong thing to roll. Let me try that again. Okay, we're good. It's 4.
Four. At luckily, they are coming out of dung piles down at the bottom, but they start climbing their way up to you. What do you do?
Wait, what's crawling out of the dung piles?
3 humanoid figures, some of them missing parts of their bodies and flesh.
Why did you have to do this to us, Algar?
I don't know why I do the things that I do. Now, those gentlemen look extremely cursed. And I
All right,
notify us, the rest of us, of the oncoming approach.
Oron, what's the group do?
Well, even if we jump to the teleporter, we're gonna have to come back, and then we won't know where these are. My suggestion is go ahead and fight them. What does everyone else think?
Take them out.
Agreed.
Take them out. Yeah. Okay.
I hit Algar in the back of the head.
Yeah.
Then we are going to fight.
Okay.
Oh, wait.
so
You hear
you're-
a single thing in that head. It's that low.
What is it?
It's
Again?
hollow.
Oh, yes.
hollow.
I thought you meant that you could actually see through their heads that they were hollow, and I was like, that's very perceptive. Wow, that's quite good. But anyways, yes, top of the round spells. Father Bloombad.
I'm just gonna go in for straight melee.
Very well. Oron.
I think with chunk of darts.
Chunk of dart. Okay. And Magnus, spells.
Yes, magic missile.
All right, very well. And then, let's see. Roll a d6, please, Oron.
Okay.
You have to get a 6.
You got. Oh,
3. Okay. Unfortunately, they are actually pretty fast.
Hmm.
So they all just like start clambering towards you. As they get closer, you can hear unearthly moans coming from them. And let's see. If anybody's firing missiles as they run up the hill, you can do that now. Your target is 13. What is the range on the darts, though?
Well, I'm trying to open up my.
it's actually like it's pretty short. It's like 15 feet is the short range. Is
That sounds right.
Yeah, I don't think the darts would reach that far.
Okay.
and
See.
then it's like a -2 or something if you want to go beyond the range is for any of the ranged weapons, but I don't know.
There we go. My character sheet's not opening.
All right, I see Lacan hits with 1, or Lacan hits with 1. So that's movement and missile. They get a chance at melee. This one's gonna try to attack Cameron. Cameron, what is your armor class? Ah, it doesn't matter. 3 misses. This one's gonna try to attack Algar.
AC 15.
15 hits. Save versus paralysis.
That is a big fail.
You, Algar, become paralyzed in a spot. And, let's see, Locken, 18. Oh, and also the damage. I guess you need that, don't you? It's actually 2 attacks.
Yep. Claw,
So,
claw.
The first one, the second one misses. It does. It's just slow. Alright, Algar, you take 1 damage. Locken, you take 1 damage. Save versus paralysis, and
Lock-in failed.
he's also paralyzed with 1 damage.
Oof.
Algar and Locken are down. And let's
How
see
much
that.
damage? Did you say 2 or 1?
1 damage. And then Locken takes 1 damage, and both are paralyzed. And then now it's to Magnus. Let's see. Yeah, you can fire your missiles. Where's Father Bloombad?
Yeah, Bloombad's counter has not been here for a while.
That's weird.
They're not appearing in this film.
What's going on here? Okay, I can fix this. I can fix this. But I assume you probably would have moved into fight, right? Is what you were saying?
Yeah, I didn't realize they were undead, so I was moving into melee.
All right. Well, you can attack if you wish. I don't think anyone else is in melee that is not unconscious. That's not true. Cameron, you can also attack. "16 hits for 3 damage. Alright, Cameron, go ahead.
20, right?
Yeah, it's a D20. You'll want to get a 13. You did it. Okay, and I believe you have a longsword, which I believe is D8 damage. Is that right?
I
Yeah.
think so.
Yes.
Roll D8. Nice.
Nice.
8 damage.
Hmm.
All right. Describe how you kill it.
I guess I hold my sword with 2 hands and just go pow right into it.
You do that, and it makes a sickly, crunching, sliding noise as you pull it back out, but something is severed in this thing's unholy life force, and it crumples down onto its spine and slumps down into itself, and only its unusually long tongue is still flopping and flailing about outside of its mouth, outside of its jawless mouth. All right. Magic.
All right, I'm shooting at the one that's in front of Locken here.
Alrighty.
So 7 total.
7 damage.
Yep.
Alright. These magic. I think you described it like bullets, right? It's like almost like pow, pow,
Yeah.
pow, yeah.
It's you would feel the whizzing and hear the sort of whistling sound.
Nice.
And see the impacts.
Locken slumps down in front of you, and then this thing just starts to tower over you, and you just do that, and then it gets filled full of magic lead, and it does a little dance and dodders backwards a little bit. We're on roll a d6 for initiative, please. You got to get a 6. Oh no, this could be it, y'all.
Did anything roll?
Yeah.
Okay. It's acting a little wonky. What I get? Is that it?
I got that you got 3. I just have to check something.
Yeah, your first result was a 3.
Okay. Oh, okay, I see. 3, 4, 6. I overkilled a little bit. Like, nothing was showing up until that 6.
Okay.
Now, which had been first.
Yeah, Father Bloombad, any spells?
I will turn.
Very well. And then the magic users, any spells from you all?
We still have 2 that are standing, or just 1?
You still have 4 left stand. No, 3 left. I'm sorry, yeah, 4 left. Magnus,
What?
Oran.
No.
Oh, I'm
Ghouls,
sorry, the
something.
enemies, yeah, 2 ghouls left standing.
2 ghouls left. You know what? I'm gonna cast sleep. Why am I saving these? This is when you use.
I don't think it'll work, but
All right.
Oh, because they're undead.
I don't, honestly, as I said that, I don't want to talk out of my butt on this because I don't remember. I thought we might have covered it, but it would have been a long time ago. And I don't actually remember whether they do.
Are you going to try to cast it?
You can't take it with you.
All right.
Why not?
All right. Let's see. They are not... Well, this one's going to move over the dead body toward Magnus that just shot it. This one's going to move over Algar toward Oren. Or I'm sorry, no, this one was hit by Cameron, so it's going to lumber toward Cameron. I'm just going to move the unconscious people out of the way a little bit here. Okay. Let's see. And then missile attacks. You can attempt a missile attack if you want. You have a chance of hitting your allies. Nope. Okay. And then yeah.
Well, I
go ahead.
Darts. I mean, there's nothing between me and this guy. I can't do it though. He's in my face, right? I can't really do it.
Yeah. If you're in melee, you can't use a ranged weapon, unfortunately.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see. So that's movement, missile. They're going to attack. This one's going to try to attack you, Magnus. 2 attacks. That one misses. And misses. This one's going to try to attack Cameron.
Oh, buddy.
Looks like it misses and hits. Cameron, make a save versus paralysis. This is to exceed your save target number.
What's that?
If you look on your character sheet on the right-hand side, you'll see a big, like a target number. That's kind of the main kind of gimmick of this game. It says saving throw. That when you roll a d20 and you're not attacking, that's always your target number.
The target number?
It says saving throw. It's on the right side.
13 is my saving throw number.
All right, roll a d20. You must get a 13. A 2.
Not a 13.
You take 3 points of damage and you fall paralyzed. All right. That was their turn. I don't think anyone's doing melee. Unless Magnus, you want to try.
I might as well.
Yeah. With the Spork of Destiny.
The Spork
No,
was
you gave it
given
up.
to the
That's
Fairy
right.
King.
That's right.
I do think that I'm wielding a magic dagger that someone was kind enough to gift me in some sort of multi-magic item swap that we did a few sessions ago.
Right?
Magnus, your target is 13. Chris, what were you saying?
You said 3 damage, right?
Yeah, 3 damage. That's right. Misses. All right, and then magic. The spell goes off, and you find that it seems to have no effect. And then lastly, Turn Undead by Father Bloombad.
5 hit dice.
They have 2. Are they incinerated or turned?
Turn for 3d6 rounds.
Magnus and Father Bloombad, you may also do an attack as they flee from you. That hits, and that hits. Okay.
I had already done 7 to that guy that was in front of me. So that's an additional 2.
They, describe how you kill it, Magnus.
As it turns to run, I do as much of a jab into its neck as I can and try to sever whatever it was that's severable there.
You do that. This remaining one starts to flee. What do you all do? Do you pursue it?
Oh, the Bloombad hit too.
Yes, I do have that damage. That one has still going. Yeah.
I think we should pursue it, right?
Mm-hmm. I agree. Yeah, we shouldn't leave anything alive or unalive down here.
Yeah. It's probably faster than we are.
It is very fast, but I'll say that you can pursue it. However, it will be able to fight if you do.
Well, then I'm gonna just prep another magic missile and finish it off that way.
You could destroy it at range. I will simply say it takes time. It takes 10 minutes.
My thing's all messed up. Like, I
Are
don't
you-
see anything.
Are you having problems with Roll20?
Just
Yeah.
try
Don't
reloading the
mind.
page.
I can't open my character sheet, and some of the rolls aren't showing up.
Yeah, you guys may have to either leave it entirely and then reload it. Unfortunately, Roll20 has been having some problems lately. It is true. Roll20's been...
Probably the weather.
Could be. Well, it's not just me. At least Misery loves.
No, and it is true. I actually had problems when I was loading it. It was doing some funky stuff. But yeah, you may have to leave and then come back or reload it, sign out, sign back in, etc., etc. Okay, so...
Wait, so we're pursuing me and Bloombad and Orin?
No, you said that you're going to use a magic missile, right?
Well, that seems like a waste.
I can just fire sling stones at it.
Okay.
It's turn for 13 turns. It's gonna be gone for 130 minutes.
All right. If you're using sling stones and darts, I will say it takes 20 minutes. If you use magic missile, I'll say it takes 10 minutes. This accounts for you like chasing it down the hill and running after it and finding it and pinning it and doing all the things.
20.
Very well.
I'll use sling stones. He can save this magic missile and protect our paralyzed friends. And then...
All right.
Yeah.
You do that.
Will your sling take it out, or do you need my dart?
I'm good.
We can both.
I think my sling has a higher range than your dart.
Okay.
All
Sounds
right.
good.
Save them
Yeah,
for
we're
this.
gonna have to
for
babysit the paralyzed here and set them up to where when they come back, they're not gonna fall over and hurt themselves.
Mhm.
A very long time passes. An entire, let's see here. It has been 4 hours of dungeon time. And they are still paralyzed. You is the plan to stay with them and wait?
We dare not go into an unknown place with paralyzed friends.
Yeah,
Yeah,
especially our damage dealers. I wouldn't feel safe, and I know they're not safe by themselves.
Yeah. Plus, they got all that treasure in their backpacks. We don't want to have to carry that too.
Yeah. I guess we wait.
Very well.
Has he encountered this before? Do we know how long we're going to wait?
I don't think our party has ever had anyone paralyzed by ghouls, but
Yeah, I think so.
it's a matter of hours. It could be a matter of several more hours.
I thought it was some type of shit monster. I didn't realize it was undead, or I would have turned immediately. I apologize.
No, it's fine.
You could see the confusion, really.
Right.
I'm
yeah.
bemused at
Yeah.
I'm bemused at the circumstance you found yourself in.
Altogether, you're not exactly sure, but approximately 3 hours pass. A total of, which also you have to eat. I keep forgetting that, but you're supposed to be eating, but I don't have that you expend a ration doing that. 1, 2, let's see. 1, 2, 4.
You're in hunger.
So it looks like 7 hours of dungeon time have passed so far, but eventually you find their limbs start to move again, and they all start groaning as they're unparalyzed.
After 10,000 years, I'm free!
All right, let's see. Oran, what's next? What do we do now?
Well, now that everybody's back and the threat has been eliminated, do we continue on to the teleporter?
Give me 5 minutes to catch my breath and to reacquaint myself with my body.
That's fine.
Otherwise,
I'll admit it, but that's
I
terrifying.
agree.
Yeah, pins and needles.
All right, Cameron, what do you think?
I mean, my character is just like, ooh. just like, just like in pure, like, what happened? Still trying to wrap their head around, what just happened.
Mood.
I should have become a dentist.
All right, and then Father Bloombad, what do you think? Forward or back or stay?
I'll go. I will go with majority.
Okay. All right, I heard the caller say we're going, right? So we're going. There we go.
Always forward.
All right. What do you do? Do you hold hands and step on together? Is that the plan? Okay.
This seems to be the way it's worked for everyone. I don't see any reason to stop now.
That's the way.
Here we go. We hold hands and we hop on.
Oh, look at here.
This is a new area for some of you, so I shall describe it. This is a kind of hammerhead-shaped room. It has a narrow section. The floors, the walls, the ceiling here are perfectly clean, like perfectly scrubbed marble tiles. Additionally, floating about 1 foot to 4.5 feet off the floor in various places, there are hundreds of dark green bubbles. Each of the bubbles are about 1 foot across in diameter.
So there were bubbles at the Hydra den. And I thought it was just bubbles because of water, but could it be these bubbles?
Those are
That was a
those
mistake.
are what they are. Yeah,
Yeah,
that
that
was,
was,
Ross said those are my
sorry,
bubbles.
my bad.
Yeah. I recognized them, and I figured they were just another like similar looking feature that was not exactly bubbles, but yeah. These bubbles are filth bubbles, I think, or at least we've assumed that they are. That they're like some sort of. My assumption was that there's some sort of magical scrubbing bubble that was able to somehow sort of by osmosis collect and then store the sort of disgusting filth liquid that we'd been dealing with on other levels of the dungeon. Or rather, one other level. We don't know for sure because we've not dared to pop any of them. So we just kind of, but they're easily moved around, and you can get under them or around them, and we just had. But we've been in this room before, and we arrived on this platform before. So I guess this is just the arrival platform of this room.
Okay.
Richard.
Oh,
Where
okay.
Yeah.
where does this room isn't part of our route to get to where we just got, so
No, I do know how to get us out of it, or rather,
we haven't really explored all the possible exits out of here, have we? I can't remember.
No, there's at least two paths we haven't taken. The immediately to our east, there is another teleport platform. We haven't hopped on that thing yet. And to our south, there are two directions we haven't tested, both pointing south.
I thought we tested the one to the east and one of the ones to the south.
There's the one on the west says F out, and the one on the east says B out. Kind of small, room 3.
Yeah,
maybe?
those also have additional veins pointing south, which we haven't tested. One of the ones in the south end of the room just bumps you right back to the north end of the room where we're standing now, which we spent
Oh, I see.
we spent 20 minutes crawling under the bubbles to get there, then popped right back. It's a great little joke.
The bubbles don't have any sort of like acidic property, or they don't dissolve or anything like that.
They don't damage you on contact. They're a little firm. We've never popped one. We don't know what happens if you do. Our assumption is that if you pop them, you just die instantly. Because if we operate on that assumption, our lives may be preserved.
I can say that this filth liquid does basically has a good chance of just diseasing somebody with a disease that requires cure disease. Otherwise, it starts sapping you of hit points every hour. So, if it is that same liquid, then
you haven't popped them, and you're still alive. So I see a connection. Do we want to try the one directly east to us? It doesn't have anything on the map. We've not been that way.
It's easy to get to it. We might as well.
All right. Does anyone have anything they want to do in this room first? All right. Let's head over east.
Magnus has been curious about these bubbles for a while, but I'm not curious enough to cause a diversion right now. I'd rather explore.
Maybe on the way out.
How do you all navigate the room? Do you just walk through the bubbles?
Can we walk around?
The one to our east, there aren't really.
What I mean is, do you just walk through these bubbles, or do you walk around them? Do you avoid them? Do you not mind? How do you navigate? Do you just go straight there?
I would rather avoid them. Any contact with them.
Same here. I avoid them also.
Yeah. Just circumlocute around them. Don't touch them.
There's a majority.
Magnus, be sure to tell your man.
Well, yeah, I'm sure Locken is not that curious of a man himself.
I've done my ridiculously foolhardy thing for the day. I'm good.
It takes about 5 minutes to navigate carefully to the other side of the room in that way, and you disappear.
Where are we?
All right, and I'll describe where you are. This room is different. It is a long rectangular room. On the north end of the room is one of the pedestals, and on the south end, parts of the walls flaked off and things. But the walls of this room, the walls of the previous rooms except for the bubble room, were painted a dark black. And you could actually see where the paint had chipped off. The walls of this room were once painted bright yellow, but it is faded and peeled in strips along the damp stone walls. Yeah, that's what you see in this room.
The Hydra room wasn't painted then, right?
No, yeah, it was a cave, yeah. No paint there either, that's true.
Is there anything in the room?
Nope, not really. There's just a bunch of paint chips and old, dusty cobwebs, and yeah, no, nothing really in the room.
Are we? I'm looking to see what I have in my pack. If anyone has, when we go through these rooms, I think it's the first room that we've been in that I don't know if anyone else has been in. Where we're testing all the tiles. If anyone has, well, I have staff, but if anyone's got, like, sick, start hitting the walls, hitting the ceilings. Maybe we've got a secret room or anything like that. I don't know how deeply we want to explore this room before we move on to the next teleporter.
It's worth a try.
We can move on to the next teleporter. There's no flange on it.
There's no flange.
We've been on them that had none before. But...
I apologize. I did not describe that. So yeah, let me describe that. Let me move my map back. I'll tell you where the veins, the flanges on this are. The one on the north side has a single flange pointing to the north only. The one on the south points to the north, south, east, and west.
So the one on the south has ones in every direction. I'm worried that I misheard.
Yes.
The one, okay. I'm just gonna
well, every cardinal direction.
Yeah.
Not the.
And which directions are on the north?
Just north.
Alrighty.
In teleporter room 3, there was a one without any thing on it, and we stepped on that and nothing happened, right? Or am I remembering that wrong?
Yeah, there was a broken one in room 3.
But there is.
Oh, go ahead.
But these ones do have them on there, right? Both of them.
Yeah. The wait, could you restate that? Have what on them?
The veins.
Ah, yes. There's a vein pointing to the north on this one, and one in each cardinal direction to the south. And then Oron, it sounded like you were considering taking a turn to search the room.
That's correct.
All right. Cameron, what do you think? Do you want to spend a turn searching the room?
Yeah, that seems like a plan to me.
Okay. What do you think, Magnus?
Always agree to a search.
I do that on my end. Okay. You search the room, and Cameron. Well, first of all, let me say you find nothing on the ceilings, the walls, the floors. It seems like there's nothing in this room. Cameron, as you study the southern portion of the room and you look at the pedestal here, you can tell that the rotating mechanism on the inside where the pedestal is, where the pedestal will sink, and you can pick it up out of its slot and you can rotate it around. You can see groove marks and wear where this has been rotated many, many times. You, none of you see anything else of interest in this room after 10 minutes of searching.
Has anybody noticed that before? Another teleport on pedestals with groove marks, signs of wear, other than there was like the broken one.
I like
It's the first time we've seen signs of life.
We've seen signs of
Uh,
life, but not this level of aggressive grinding.
Mm.
Yeah,
I'm
we
gonna
have. We
cast find
haven't.
traps to see if maybe one of the directions is a trap.
You cast Find Traps, and you sense no traps.
Okay. Well, do we want to go through it or test anything else?
I mean, my vote of the 5 directions possible would be to actually step back on the portal we just came on and see where it goes. I mean, I know it might. It might throw us way back, but it would be worth discovering if that's the case, and at least we will have eliminated, like we will have answered that one question of this pedestal. So that's my vote.
There's
But
wisdom in that.
I
Okay,
certainly
well-
have no objection to it.
Test out and make sure we can get out of here.
All right. About 6 minutes have passed since you've stepped off this pedestal. Do you step back on it?
We need we need to remember to wait the full 20.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm
You
fine. Wait.
use a candle. All right. I think and you got a bunch of candles. All right. Very well. And you step back after 20 minutes total have passed since then, and you appear on this pedestal.
That's good to know.
Okay. All right.
Pumps
Well,
us
we
right
can
back to the north. Okay.
we can wait 20 minutes and then go back to the east pedestal. Move forward.
Seems
for me.
very, yeah.
Okay. Then that's what we'll do. Wait 20 minutes, and then we'll get back on that eastern pedestal.
All right. Take some time to do that. You get on that pedestal, and you disappear. And you reappear somewhere else.
All right. Well, I guess after 20 minutes, we'll try the southern pedestal.
What is it set
Right.
on currently?
Good question.
Yeah, it's currently set to the west.
Oh, so does that mean it can go one of 4 directions?
Mhm.
Not
Yeah,
that-
so if you
Oh,
would
yeah,
have
that
to.
was all fine.
Oh, go
That was
ahead. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so everybody agrees you're going to step on that pedestal as well?
Are we
Sounds
agreed
good
on
to me.
west?
Works for me.
All right. Very well. You step on the pedestal. I apologize, I probably messed up your markings. I need to put them on the map layer. Oh, I got them. Got them. Map layer. Bam. And you disappear. When you appear, suddenly you're surrounded, as if blanketed, by feeling on your skin. The change is so sudden and so significant that it feels as if you wonder if you've been tossed into water. But a cool, icy water, and not an unpleasant one. But then you breathe in, and you're almost made sick by how hard and dense the air is. And you look up, and you see not a room, but a star-filled sky. And I will describe the area around you.
The look of I'm searching for the adjective, but the noun is delight on Richard's face right now. The adjective, there could be more than one. I'm searching
I'm just
for
watching
one.
all those pages flip.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah. Biting his knuckles. Yeah.
You are surrounded by graves in the darkness around you, illuminated by Father Bloombad's holy symbol. Other than the starlit skies, these are the snow and ice-covered grounds of the earth somewhere as you appear upon the ground. There is no pedestal. You can see that there are graves settled within depressions. A stone towering mausoleum ahead of you. And it sets within a depression some 40 feet below the ground. Amidst these three mausoleums to your left and right and straight ahead of you, and the depressions that they sit in, is a well. There are no gravestones near the well. There are no sounds of wildlife anywhere. It is.
You said Sorry, there was a pause. I apologize.
It is completely silent. It is a quiet and silent night air.
You said a star-filled sky. Are the stars recognizable? And would they match with what I might expect to see from the top of my tower at this time of year?
Yes, they do.
Good to know.
In fact, the same night.
Okay.
Okay.
And the only
Wow.
portals left is the one that we just came in on.
There is no portal, he said.
There is none at all. No. Okay. So there is no way back.
Not that we know of at the moment.
There is a way forward.
Yeah, so
there's
Yeah, can we?
We went north from the thing, right?
what? North from the thing?
On the previous pedestal, it was
no,
pointed
west.
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 Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can we tell by the position of the North Star, like where we're at compared to where it was when we went in, or no?
Yeah, it looks like it's the same night. In this courtyard with mausoleums, you can see that there is a life-size statue of a dwarf on a stone block of some great warrior. I'm just kind of describing some of the things you can explore, okay? And then I'll hand it back over to the caller to decide. There's the dwarven statue. There are 3 mausoleums, one to your left, one to your right, one straight ahead, each set within a depression. There is a well behind you. There are 9 graves. The earth seems fresh. Makeshift markers. There's a hole that leads down into the dark earth. And that is what you see here. What do you think, Oran?
Well, for me, I'd rather explore outside before we decide to go into anything. We've got graves to look at. We've got a well. We've got a statue. I'm a little leery of the hole that goes down to the ground. But
What
that's-
about that? Is that hole the one to the southwest from where we're standing? Is that what you're talking about? Or where?
No, to the north, the well.
Okay,
It
I can't.
missed that pit.
I see. Are all of these different mausoleum doors similar to the one you just showed us?
No, that one is sort of a look as if you were facing facing with your back, or if you're facing this way, because there's a dwarven statue right here, and then there's this main mausoleum 40 feet in a 40-foot deep depression.
Now, I have to ask because I'm not sure we've actually encountered a dwarf
Yeah, this
our
is
whole time.
Yeah, that's right. I'm sorry, you all have never seen one before, but this is some sort of rugged warrior with really odd features. It looks as if it is a person partially hewn from the earth itself, and then
Like-
yeah.
It would be a part of Northern legend. You know what I mean? Like it would be part of.
Yes, I
such
agree.
creatures would be part of folklore and stuff, but it wouldn't be like walking around in the street.
Alas, Alaric is not with us.
Well, I second the notion of checking out more around of the immediate surroundings before we
Agreed.
choose a door.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. We have. We can look at the grave, see if we can decipher any names or markings, or anything recognizable.
Okay. There are 9 graves, and when you go, in fact, you do recognize them. I don't have the names on me, but some of them have been mentioned before. One of them is in the Gazetteer. It's the last person to have led the expedition here to Rappan Athuk, like 50 years ago. Not the Army of the Light. Others are mighty heroes and saints of your time. There are a whole bunch of them. If you roll a d20, I can give you a name and their moniker.
Well, I actually have just a different question. Are these the same types of dudes that we will have seen in the sort of iconography on the walls in the healing level, where they were? Are these those same characters?
Some of them are famous. Some of them you don't recognize. But if each of you roll, actually, I would say a d30. A d30, I can give you a name. I don't want to do all of them, but I can give you some of them.
What do you roll, a d20 and a d10?
No, you do /roll space 1d30. Or you can actually use a d30. Whichever one.
I've never even seen a d30 before.
Yeah, I've got a lot of dice. I don't have one of those, though.
Yeah,
Those are the ones that have like diamond-shaped facets. Remember rightly?
What was it? /roll?
Yeah.
1d30?
Yeah, there's a d30.
There you go. Lovely.
That's not right.
Yeah,
That's
that's
not-
interesting.
Yes.
It is diamond-faced, you're right.
What's the instruction?
/roll space 1d30.
Is that a backslash?
Forward.
What am I doing wrong?
The other way.
Okay. I thought that the forward indicated the bottom part of the
Oh,
thing.
that makes sense. Yeah. All right, you got 22, so I'll tell Cameron here. 22. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 20, 21, 22. Here lies Chirag Ali, and there lies Chirag Ali, and there lies Chirag Ali, and there lies Chirag Ali, and there, and it just keeps going.
Wow.
What? Okay, that is bizarre.
Oh, and then we got Magnus here. You got a 21. It says Nidor Daxon, the good die young.
Is the ground fresh? Are the graves fresh? Are they grown over?
Algar, you see something else here. Wait, no, it's not Algar, it's Father Bloombad.
Will come back to me later.
Yeah, Father Bloombad is the one that you see is fresh. The rest are not fresh. The markers are mostly makeshift. Let's see. So then we've got Oran. What about your roll?
Yeah, let me give that a go. We'll go / roll 30.
Yep. / roll space 1d30.
Did mine say anything, or was it just a fresh grave?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah. I'm going to save yours for last.
Rolling the dice. I actually wrote / What? What am I doing?
Who
8.
8. Okay, 8.
Big
Let's
money.
see here. 8. It says Andrew Daly, gone but not forgotten. And then lastly, Algar. What did you get?
Oh, I forgot to roll. 1 sec. I got a 16.
16. Okay. Henrik Landrovic, until we meet again. And then lastly, Father Bloombad, you look down on a freshly dug grave. It was probably dug recently, in the breaks between the frost, in such a day as just this last sunny day. The grave is empty. The soil sits beside it, ready to consume the coffin that would receive it, and it has your name upon the gravestone.
My full name?
Your full name. Your full name and your Christian name, or, well, not your, what would you call that in this world? Your liturgic name. There we go. That's the language.
That is disturbing. I can't imagine we are somewhere. I mean, to write these epitaphs, it couldn't be that these were adventurers and these are people that died along the way, so they were buried hastily. They wrote epitaphs for everyone. I almost say we teleported into some sort of royal cemetery or some sort of national cemetery. But now we have an empty grave that has one of our party members.
Taste the air. There's nothing royal about this place. You can feel it. If you open your mouth wide and close it slow, you can feel the air part between your teeth. This place is thick with evil.
Are we nowhere? I don't know.
Somewhere.
Or somewhere.
Those are real skies. That is the real sky. We are not in the underworld.
Well, there's a well.
Yeah, don't go in it.
Probably not drink from it. But we can see what, is there a winch, a rope, and a bucket? We check out that well.
Oh, you want to go check out the well?
Check out the well. It's interesting that there's a well in a grave site.
We were warned about a well. Let's not forget.
What was the warning?
Don't go down it.
Don't go down the well.
Well, that's just good advice.
It really is.
An ornately carved well. Here sits on the other side of this sunken graveyard, opposite the main mausoleum. It has finely crafted artwork in its stones. Horrific images of demons, devils, and undead things in bas relief carvings. Runes and scribblings adorn the spaces empty of the carvings. That's what you see on the outside.
I can only imagine what's inside.
Can Father Bloombed shine his holy symbol down in there at all? Or?
No, thank you.
Okay.
Light a candle and drop it down. See how far it goes before we see a light.
Do you want to do that? You want to drop a candle down the well?
Sure.
Very well. You approach the lip of the well and light a candle and drop it down inside. It tumbles, its noise lost after a while, but in the light cast on either side of the stone in the interior of the well, you can see large gouges, as if something had tried to claw its way out from the stone. It goes on for probably 90 feet until it's a tiny pinprick, and then it extinguishes and disappears.
Do we hear anything when it extinguishes?
Yeah, you hear like a plunk as if it went into water. It seems that there is some kind of large cavern down at the bottom.
How round is this well?
It's probably 6 feet across.
Okay, it's good size. I'm fine leaving the well alone for now, but deep gouges.
Can we all be quiet for a few minutes and spend a turn just listening after that thing was dropped? After the candle was dropped? That's just a suggestion. I'm just throwing it out there.
Sounds good. We can do that. We can just listen.
You listen for a while. Father Bloombad, in the silence, you can feel, without even needing to cast any of your, do any of your prayers, you can feel a faint, overwhelming evil about this place. And otherwise, you hear nothing.
Someone convinced me why I shouldn't fly down there to see what's going on.
Yes. I mean, we have days, if not weeks, of survival nature horror in front of us as we try to travel back to some place where we don't know where it's at. As we lose limbs and digits to frostbite, starve on the way.
I'm moderately optimistic. As long as we don't go down the hole.
Very well.
Yeah. And this is all covered in snow? This is all still snow covered?
This is all covered in snow, yes.
It's all covered in snow, okay. So it's covered in snow. We still have a sky.
What are these? They look like openings in the cliff walls there. Are they? Or are they just fun things on the illustration?
I wouldn't say that those are cliffs. I would describe them as like terraces, like a little, But you said there's what in the?
It looks on the map. It looks like they're tiny little cave openings.
Well, in one place there is a dark hole that leads down a jagged hole. It's it's right here actually. And you are correct. There's also a dark hole there.
Oh, okay. And you say dark. So that's what I meant. So dark hole, like what is it? Does it go in horizontally, or is it at a 45-degree angle? Does it immediately start to drop down, or is it just go into the hill, or what?
When you go and look at it, it is a 3-foot diameter hole that leads down into the darkness. You can see that there are bits of cloth and bone that lie at the entrance of the hole.
Boy.
I have a few good options here.
Yeah, what kind of bones?
Human bones.
What if can we get to the top of these terraces here and see if we can get a better look about?
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't suggest that we split up. I'm just trying to think of ideas of like something to, because we're running low on real time here.
Yeah, I was thinking that. I was like, well, we could split up and look at this and look at that. I'm like, it's nighttime. I have no idea what's happening.
Unless there's another teleporter, then we're gonna have to save a fly for first light, so you can fly up and try to see where the river is, so we'll know how to travel to get home.
Right. I was gonna ask, like, since we can tell, the stars at what time, can we also tell like what time it is? Is there any way to look on the horizon and see how much longer we have of nighttime?
I don't think there's a way to be perfectly certain about that, but it's the same night, and yeah. And then there are a few things that you do know. But you already know them.
Bloombad's with Bloombad's light. Sorry, go ahead. I'm sorry. My mind is racing here.
Oh, it's okay. It's going to take me a second to move this to your...
You said we can make it up up these terraces. So, do we pick one to go up then, and see if we can get a look
yeah. Let's start at the. We're right in the middle. We can start at the right and go over to the left later.
Now, it's currently dark, okay? So, let's see here. And I'm so glad. I wish you guys could see this Mega Dungeon book. In a year and a half, this thing has been worn out, which is a good thing. I mean, that's pretty awesome. I'm sorry. Oh, found it. Okay. And you all have only made it down to like level 3 of 20.
They're keeping us busy.
It's wild. Okay, I found it. Okay, so you clamber up these terraces until you can get to a high place. And this is what you see. You look around you in the clear night sky. You feel a sea breeze somewhere nearby. In fact, the maritime quality of it makes it feel very icy cold. You can even see a chilly ice vapor that seems to lay in low areas about you. In the darkness, it's really hard to see much else, but from where you are, you can see that there are nearby hillsides, like the one that you're on now.
So we're on a very evil hill.
Is it? What's the condition of the moon? Is it full or near? That make a big difference of what we can see at night. Like, can we see like the glistening of moonlight on water in any direction, for example, or
It's unfortunately a waning crescent. It is not a very bright moon tonight. All right, any other ideas?
I'm tapped out as far as outside of the mausoleums.
The only idea I've got left is wait it out till morning and see if we can get a better idea, because dare we go into any door? I mean, the idea is really fun, but we're talking about 5 minutes, so.
All right. Now
right. How far are we going to get? And plus, anyways, if we go inside a mausoleum to camp, you're just inviting death.
Yeah.
The good news is no one's missing hit points very much, right? Just a couple, not a lot.
Mm-hmm.
You will not gain your hit points for what we're about to do. You're about to camp out in freezing cold conditions, so you're not going to get hit points. But let me see here.
Who is down hit points?
Except
I'm down 1 hit point.
Thanks to Father Bloombad.
Not a problem.
And Lakan is down
3,
1 as well.
And unfortunately, the temperature drops and it becomes extremely cold, and the winds pick up.
Cameron gets hit back.
You will need to try to find some way to protect yourself from this wind, or you will perish to hypothermia outside.
Can we wedge ourselves in between like mausoleums, or you said the one mausoleum is 40 feet in the ground?
Yes.
So we could go down, not actually go in, but go down the steps. Not sure what it goes, and
pick a
camp
side.
there. The wind would be over us.
Yep. Now,
Wait, don't we have those Yeti coats?
You do. So the Yeti coats are keeping you from losing hit points right now. But if you try to sleep and camp outside in moderate winds that are minus 30 degrees Celsius, you will not survive the night. Unless you come up with something. You got a ranger, so you can take time to improvise something, but
If I had a shovel, then I'd be in a better position. We could dig a proper wind shelter and I could lay down some of the brush. Can you describe the condition of the local tree foliage? I assume it's all still, the leaves are stripped bare. It's just bare wood, which will make it difficult to get any sort of windbreak.
You could try to work with what you see nearby. It requires activity and sweat, which is a problem, which means you're losing water, and it's a race against time. This will come down to your ranger roll. You can do either a wisdom save, or you can do your tracking skill, or another skill that you have. You can make a check.
My tracking skill is vastly superior.
You can do that one.
I think for one night we should just tank it. But if we're on the way home for tomorrow night, we're going to want to prepare a lot more. But frankly, we're deep in enemy territory at the moment anyway. We don't want to get too committed to any one spot. If we get attacked by anything, we might need to pick up shop and sprint.
All right. You can go ahead and make a roll if you want to try to find something that you can use to help cover yourselves and sleep.
Magnus has a tent, but it's probably just good for Magnus.
Rolling time. I'm going to use my... How did that happen? Right, when I F5'd, I lost access to that. I am pulling up my tracking skill.
It's a D100, right?
Yeah, I think I want to roll low. So that should be pretty good.
Yeah, that is very excellent. You are able to quickly find exactly what you need, and you're able to improvise a shelter away from this evil place enough into a rocky area. You even find a cave, and doing that and creating a fire provides you everything that you need. And when the sun rises, it becomes clear where you are. Clearer. You spend the time the next day just cresting the hill. You can see that you are on the coast of Albion, on the east coast.
So we're all the way past the old road.
That's what it looks like.
And
that means we're...
Yeah, and with that will end the adventure for the night.